Fair warning, this video is a hot mess. I just couldn't get it pulled together this weekend.
Hello, here we are again, another weekend of a little bit of work on the van. I didn't work on this on Saturday, only today, which is Sunday. And I received my swivel for the front passenger seat of the van. So that is what we will be installing today. That's it. On we go. This is the box I received this week with my, I don't know if it's Scopema, I don't know, Scopema, Scopema. It's the swivel seat I got for my van. Now, the reason I got this one is because, well, first of all, I wish I hadn't needed or wanted to get this one because it is the most expensive one on the market. But I think the reason is that it has the lowest profile, which means when I take my seat out, put this one in and put my seat back in, I think I'm only gaining like an inch in the height of that front passenger seat, whereas the other ones can be anywhere up to like 2.5 inches of height. Which, you know, is not going to be comfortable for people that are sitting in the seat. It can't be too high for my sweet little mom. Hi, I'm Erin, and welcome to Grammy Goes. Join me as I demo my Ford Transit 350, build it out, and travel in it. Come along for the ride. It should be fun. So this piece here is one of those cars that you would attach a part of a car seat to, but I have seen people on YouTube that have actually had to cut this off because I believe that it will be in the way when the seat goes to turn, but we'll check it out and see. So one of the first things that I have to do is remove these bolts. There's one on both sides here. And then I will also slide the seat back and take the ones out at the front. And that's what's going to allow me to take the seat off. Now I've got to be careful when I take the seat off. And I'm just going to set it back in the van because the seat belt is attached to that. And to be honest, if I don't have to disassemble all of that, it'll spare me from having to take off these side rails again, which as you saw was a little tedious. So that's what we're going to do. Stay tuned. So I removed this bolt from this hole. I'm going to do the same on the other 4 corners. So this one's got to come out. I should start keeping track of the number of times I've had to go to Harbor Freight because I have forgotten something. So once I get this seat out, oopsie, I have been fumble fingers today. It's just been ridiculous. Time for the back seat, or the back bolts. So I'm kind of having to jury rig my bit because I don't have a socket that this, you know, fits into tightly. So I'm just having to use one of my other hex bits and slipping it in there so it doesn't stay in there tight, but it's doing the trick. And these feel like they use some Loctite for these bolts, which isn't a bad idea at all. So I purchased some. so that I can do the same
So
thing.
it's just these 4 bolts that are holding this on.
And then I believe I need to unhook the airbag sensor cables from the bottom of the seat. So I got everything unbolted, and I've unhooked this mat that covers all those heater components underneath the the passenger seat. I'll have to see if that's something that can be removed, or if I even want to bother with it. And there's just so many components when you have a passenger van. So this wire is what I need to unhook, because that has to come through the center of the mounting plate for the swivel so it can all be hooked back up. It's a little bit hard to see what's what. I think I'll have a little more wiggle room once I get this unsnipped. So, probably putting my head right in your view. It's impossible to see. Better to come at this from the other side. Let's check. All right, gotta go to the front of the seat. So I have to take out this out. Ooh, I've got to take that bolt out so this front piece can come out, and then I should be able to pull the seat off and work on the swivel. When I put this piece back in, I have to make sure that the wire goes behind that post back there and not in front of. So you gotta leave the seat somewhat nearby because of the seat belt on this side of the seat. So now that that's out, I will bring you all back up towards the front so you can see the pieces that I have to cut off. All right, so I'm just gonna walk you around this part of the van and then flip you around again so you can see what we've got going on here. So this can come off now because I can feed that through that hole over there. And then this has to be cut off because it will interfere with the seat being able to swivel. And these pegs, which is basically what helps those rails to line up, but I'll be lining up the holes on the swivel. So, oops, this peg has to be sawn down, and there's another one on this side that has to be cut off. So that's what we're going to work on next. I'm going to put more tape around that. Oh, fudge. So all of this is for the heater that was feeding the back of the van. A lot of people put their heaters for their van conversion that, you know, will heat up the living area. A lot of people put it under their front seats, but I am not a proponent of that because you still have to run the propane pipe or the, you know, the copper piping from wherever your propane tank is up here, and I don't really want to run it through the step and all of that. So the underside of this seat will not be used for anything. Holy shnikey, those are hot. There are pipes that are here that I do not want to mess with. So I think I will probably just abandon this like I'm doing some of the other items, which should be fine. That's the scoop. But this has to come up through the center of the seat, through the bar that goes under the seat, and then it will be connected back into the airbag system. Basically, it's the sensor that lets you know if somebody heavy enough is sitting in the seat for the airbag to be in use or safe to be used.
All right, so I cut one side of this. I'm going to do the other one with you guys, and then I will use files to file it down, and I will paint it so that it doesn't rust.
Give my tool a chance to cool down. It got really hot on that one. So I'm going to paint the other spots that I sanded and continue on. So I am using Rust-Oleum paint and primer, and I am going to just clean these off and then spray them, and that is just to prevent any rust on the raw metal later. I'm telling you, it sucks to have thumbs that are all annoyingly affected with arthritis. All right, so I brought the seat in and I was able to determine that the red lever goes at the front, and then you have to unhook it so that it swivels, and then you line up these holes with the original bolt holes on the seat frame. So I was able to bring that piece through the center so I can reattach that to the sensor underneath the seat when I get it back in place. So we're going to keep going here. All right, so there's a couple of different kinds of bolts. These have an Allen head, and they are flat, so they will sit recessed into here so they don't obstruct this frame from spinning around. All right, so where's my screwdriver? Allen. It looks like I'm missing one, which I am, but it's not the one I need. Oh, fudge muffin. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I do have one of the, old Slowpoke kind, which will at least enable me to get these started. So I'm just going to get them started to make sure all the holes line up and that I am not going to have to adjust the frame at all. And then I will back them out and put some of the Loctite. I got the Loctite blue, which is removable, but it holds the bolt in place. Makes it a little tricky to back out, but once you get it started, it's pretty good. And the last one. All right, I think it's going to be good. So So this is what I wanted to accomplish last week, but I was missing some of the, the proper heads on these things. There's like a million sizes. Whoa, that was a lot. I think that I now have well, I'm pretty sure it's not every imaginable type. But I do have quite a few. So, little by little now, I will tighten these. I don't want to cinch any of them all the way down until I make sure that I'm going to get all of them to go in. I'm so thankful I didn't have to, change the size of any of these, and hopefully I won't have to on the part that the seat attaches to. There are some people that actually had to drill these out, like one hole didn't line up. Super annoying. All right, nice to get this step done. I figure since this is a seat that's, keeping people safe, it would be a really excellent idea to make sure that these don't vibrate open. Or out, I guess would be the proper term. All right. That part is finished. Now I have to leave this in this swivel position again because I've got to be able to get to the top and the bottom of the hole for the part that attaches to the seat, because there are lock washers and nuts with the nylon coating in them to keep it from vibrating loose as well. I won't need to use the Loctite on those. So according to the instructions, this piece will go this way, and then I will drop the washer on, and I will drop this bolt on, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to need two different tools, one for the underside and one for the top side. But it's pretty straightforward. This is actually, if you didn't have to cut off these pieces and file and paint them, you could probably get this seat, the swivel adapter, installed in like, I don't know, an hour and a half. I think would be great if you really, you know, knew what you were doing, which I'm learning as I go. So that's it. I'm gonna set the seat. There's a little spot on this cable that is not wrapped well anymore with the electrical tape, so I am going to add some back over that spot. To be sure that the wires are protected, especially because the seat is going to swivel and I don't want it to fray the wires. So that should do the trick. So because this has to go behind that bar, I'm going to set it towards the back, which I think should be good. All right, here we go. Excuse my butt. So the front rails are showing now, so I think I will work on getting those lined up, get the screws started in those holes, and then I'll slide that seat forward and work on the back holes.
Holy moly.
I'm not 100% sure I got the right hole, so I just very lightly put it in there. All right, this one's going to take the longest because it isn't the most awkward position, but we'll get it. This is in the way, that one's in the way, and I can't turn the seat any more forward. So that piece that I cut off would have totally conflicted with this. So now I don't have to worry about it. We got it. Now we have a million tools to clean up.